You Can't Screw This Up by Adam Bornstein. The foreword to this book is by Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it is so damn smooth that I had to listen to it not once, not twice, but 3 times. Thrice. He basically explains that the worst thing about the fitness and diet history is the negativity, shame, and guilt of failing at it all, and that walking away from this is one of the best decisions you can make for yourself. The author, according to Schwarzenegger, is one of the smartest people he's ever met and the perfect person to blaze a trail that provides a more direct, realistic, and effective way to improve your health. What I imagine is going to be the best thing about this book is the author's empathy toward the millions of people who feel stuck in the wellness industry. Let's look a little further into this, and just so you guys know, there are affiliate links in the description, and if you buy anything through those links, then I get commission, which helps me build this channel and keep making these videos. You can also find them on my Amazon storefront. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sam, and I want to make self-growth normal, because people shouldn't have to look this information up. It should just be mainstream knowledge. If you agree, then please make sure to smash that like button. He said that the trillion-dollar wellness industry is built on the foundation of short-sightedness and conflict. It sort of explains why I don't care about my health all that much. Or as much as I should. Prioritizing your health is the foundation of less disease, after all, more vitality, which is the benefit I personally care the most about, and a higher quality of life. Most people think this requires taste preferences you don't have, food that costs more money than you have, or time you can't seem to find, and habits you haven't built. Foods like bread, potatoes, and rice don't need to be forbidden, and you don't have to worry about the time in between meals, or if you can take breakfast or have a meal at night. You can eat takeout and have dessert. You can. Okay, guys, it is not illegal to have takeout or dessert. Newsflash, right? PSA. Is that what it is? PSA? Originally, this book, believe it or not, was actually supposed to be called The Takeout Diet, but it doesn't need to be a reward, and you don't need to compensate for it with punishment. The movements and workout regimens also don't need to be as hard or complicated as you think. Chapter 1, so easy it's hard to fail. Part of not screwing it up is having a plan that feels like it understands your life. Doesn't it feel good to hear something like that? A diet that treats eating out as a mistake, it's a diet you want to avoid, but it needs to make it easier to eat foods that you enjoy, that'll fill you up so you don't keep eating and stress yourself out. Diets that focus on removal and restriction and inflexible rules have very low long-term success rates. That's just the fact of it. The focus is more here on adding support so your mind doesn't scare itself and screw itself up as your body changes. This is something I never really understood. Like, you have to pay attention to what you eat when you're in a social situation, when it's offensive to go out of your way to, like, I don't know, bring pre-cooked chicken, broccoli, and rice with no seasoning or topping or sauce or anything, not even, maybe even salt, to work or a friend's house. Life is too unpredictable, guys, and prioritizing your health is no easier now than it used to be. What if you're at work and you get very, very caught up with a customer, or you're on a job site way later than you thought you were going to be, and your significant other or parent or whoever you live with is blowing up your phone, and you have enough on your mind, and you're wondering when you're going to eat that dinner you promised you were going to make when you got home? Make your own dinner, like an hour before you usually go to bed too. Remember, because you're way later than you thought you were going to be home. What the hell are you supposed to even eat for breakfast the next day when you have like 10 minutes between you when you wake up and when you have to leave for work? What if you get really drunk the night before and you got home at 2 in the morning? It just doesn't add up. Yes, that stuff doesn't happen all the time, but it happens enough that it's like, dude, what the hell? Don't put myself in situations like that. Oh, that's easy. All you have to do is quit your job, live alone, and have no friends at all for the rest of your life. Right? Wrong. Chapter 2. The diet game is fixed. For 30 to 40 years, half the people who need to lose weight have been trying to eat healthier without success. This is backed up by research that suggests about 80% of people who try to lose weight are not able to maintain it up to 12 months later. Something I love about this guy is how humane his approach to things is. He said that he has a wife, 2 kids, and 3 companies. Those responsibilities create limitations on what he can and cannot do to support his health. But at the end of a long day, despite what he knows about nutrition, it's still far easier to order takeout or microwave something than it is to cook something from scratch. Chapter 3, this changes everything. You hear a lot, for example, in self-development that the body follows the mind and motion creates emotion. The author really kind of suggests something the other way around. Changing your body when you change your mind. By the way, the study to story ratio in this book is spot on. There are not that many more stories than there are studies and vice versa. The best way to do when getting on track for a better diet is learning about the importance of stable foundations, and that's what you hear about in this chapter. The author references other authors like habits expert James Clear, known for his widely recognized and bordering overrated in my opinion book Atomic Habits, shame researcher Brene Brown, personal favorite on this channel, and modern stoic Ryan Holiday, who I've reviewed more books by recently than I'd like to admit. Chapter 4, the paradox of comfort. A big part of learning how to grow is understanding how to expand your comfort zone by learning what's difficult and balancing it out with what's easy. You learn about your comfort zone, including what you know, and more of what's good for you. You want to talk about a balanced diet? Literally. The goal is to expand your comfort zone, not abandon it completely. If you get nothing out of this review, I hope you understand this. It seems like a very foundational facet of not screwing things up, right? Chapter 5, seek solutions, not scapegoats. Winning the game is all about consistency and comfort. Rigorous studies have searched and searched and searched for the best diet. If I told you that they all came to the same conclusion, what do you think it would be? The conclusion is that if you want to eat better, you can start by thinking about the plan you can follow for the longest period of time. Interestingly, they suggest picking a formula you can follow for a long period of time is more likely to lead to positive results than worrying about whether you should cut fat or carbs or gluten. Have you ever seen interview clips with people who are like over 100 years old? They're constantly asked about their diets, and it's usually something so simple. Well, every morning I drink 1 Diet Coke, then I have 2 McChickens and a glass of red wine before I go to sleep. All these millennials are so obsessed with their avocado toast. Avocado gives me diarrhea. I don't know what happened to this country, but it sure doesn't seem to be treating its citizens any better than avocado treats my wrinkly old raisin bottom. Okay, they never talk like that. But their diet choices all seem to be so different, and yet they're as consistent with them as anybody possibly could be. And they're over 100 years old. I think this consistency principle may help explain how these people live so long. What he's focused on here, though, is what we call adherence. Picking something and sticking to it. Chapter 6 is note from your future self. There's a very interesting thing he said about things like black bean brownies. That's a tongue twister, isn't it? Try saying that 3 times fast. And cauliflower crust pizza. It's not really pizza. This type of food, where it's like they replace like an ingredient that like a lot of people say is bad for you with one that's good for you. It's made for a bunch of reasons, but one of them is for us to not feel bad about eating brownies or pizza. The reality is, once we taste it and understand it doesn't taste as good, we'll go right back to eating normal brownies and pizza and feel horrible about ourselves for doing so. This happens all the freaking time. I'm much more often in the mood to eat brownies and pizza than I am to eat black bean brownies and cauliflower pizza, aren't you? Certain books like Grit by Angela Duckworth, The Subtle Art by Mark Manson, and The Third Door by Alex Banayan are referenced in this one in a way that help paint it in a self-help-like color, more general and overlapping than it is specifically based on dieting and wellness. By the way, for anyone wondering, probably not that many people at this point, but for anybody wondering, a great way to amuse me as a consumer is to take something like a product concept, a piece of art or entertainment, etc., and just fuse it with self-development. After all, that's what this channel is for, making it normal. Chapter 7 is the trapdoors. I think something I appreciate so much about this book is just how realistic the author is about what most people eat every day. He says that so many of us like to eat out. We like sweets, we like baked goods, we like junk food, and he's quick to acknowledge this, but he's incredibly empathetic and understanding of it, and he doesn't expect people to cut them out entirely. In fact, if you can't tell to an unexpected degree, he anticipates that they're part in some way of a balanced first world 21st century diet. I don't know if you've ever seen the show 1,000 Pound Sisters. It follows the weight loss journey of 2 hilarious, wholehearted sisters who originally weighed a total of 1,000 pounds. I cannot wait for the next season to come out. It's an amazing show. But something I learned from that show is the more you weigh, the easier and more quickly you're able to lose weight. I've since wondered why this is and learned in this book that the more you weigh, the more active your metabolism becomes. I think that might be a body thing. Maybe your body's like trying to adapt to the weight by making it easier. I don't know. Chapter 8 is I Will Teach You to Eat. There's some tools he stressed the importance of in this chapter. One that stood out was outsmarting your brain by eating more foods that make you feel more full and prevent your brain from turning into an eating machine. This means low energy, dense foods. And the king and queen of this, by the way, are protein and fiber. The more protein and fiber you eat, the easier it is to eat less. Chapter 9, let's order takeout. The main idea here is that it's not wrong to order takeout. It's normal, and it's pretty inevitable in today's social world. The thing is knowing what to order. Something else, though, is how to order. And this is pretty cool. Request a different oil, for example. Request a quarter of the amount of oil that they usually use. You can make this request on any app which I don't know is actually true. I feel like I've tried to see if I could make a request on DoorDash, and a lot of them are like, oh, we're not taking special requests at this time, or just call the restaurant. Try it with the same amount and try it with less. It's less greasy looking, but it does have the same flavor. You can order it with less sauce too. Order it with less dressing. There's so many calories in dressing, it's insane. The takeout order part of this chapter was gold. Pure gold. Seriously. I can't tell you guys how much I needed this with how damn often my fiance and I eat Italian takeout. Limit Alfredo and cream options, pick marinara or pomodoro if you can. He also goes over like Thai, Chinese, Asian cuisines, no fried and no sweet and sour sauce. Hey, he might tell you what not to eat, which goes against his philosophy, but he does give you enough options that you can't say his advice is not like flexible here. And lastly, the personal American favorite. Let's face it, guys, this is a favorite in America. We may not have invented it, but like a bajillion other things we didn't invent, we're utterly obsessed with it. Pizza is what the author calls a bliss point meal. Very interesting concept from the book that's actually from a couple other books. Interesting but unfortunate. So he advises having pizza once a week. Normal human being pizza. By the way, not stupid cauliflower rice pudding, whatever. I don't know what kind of stuff they put in it. It's regular enough. Eating real normal pizza once a week that you can enjoy it without killing yourself, but infrequent enough that you can enjoy it without killing yourself. Chapter 10, the ultimate takeout menu. Eating at the top 50 restaurants in America. This is in the PDF menu, which is in the audiobook. I'd be floored if this was not in the other versions of the book. This includes, and I'm not gonna go over all the extra stuff in this, but like it includes listing some of my personal favorites here. You can tell how much I struggle with this stuff. Applebee's, Arby's, Burger King, Chick-fil-A, KFC, McDonald's, Olive Garden, Outback, Pizza Hut, Red Robin, Sonic, and Starbucks. Some of those I go to way more often than others. The other includes, his favorite actually on menu, which is a cute little personal touch. And lastly, chapter 11, the plan that never stops working. You learn about weight loss plateaus and set points, weights that basically stay the way they are, and how to lower yours and how to stop it from going up. But what I think overall separates this book from others, so many things. Like it is not just its promotion of ordering takeout, eating dessert, and taking the stress out of dieting, but it's also a few other things. One of them is the author's focus on empathy, feelings, and not beating yourself up to punish yourself for not continuing to beat yourself up in general. And the other way is the way it's set up. Many books talk about health, money, and success and more. They'll tell you about like the mindset and then the practice. The mindset and practice are both just extremely unorthodox in this one, and they sound very backwards compared to conventional wisdom. And the way he lays them out together is just flawless. It definitely deserves more attention in its space and in general, a likely contender for our top 5 at the end of the year. Quotes, "No one has ever changed by beating themselves up. If it feels like you can easily fall off the wagon, you're on the wrong ride. It's the 21st century. Why is anybody using a wagon? It's a different experience when the plan you follow to get the results is the type of plan you can stick with long term." This is exactly why so many people are confused about nutrition, because too many brilliant scientists speak in jargon no one understands. Your plan should feel resilient. The don't eat this and don't eat that mentality pushes you towards stress when we live in an environment where delicious food is more available than ever. The average Caesar salad dressing container has approximately 4 tablespoons of dressing, which is more than 300 calories. That's like adding a kid's meal to your salad. Direction 1. I'm gonna go with the author's direction 1 here and recommend this book to anyone who thinks they need to eat bland meals, can't touch sugar, and avoid restaurants in order to lose weight, or anyone who wants more freedom and positive changes in their life. Direction 2. If you like this book, you might just love Salt, Sugar, Fat by Michael Moss, for like an more like journalism, like investigative journalism type of like account of how they say the food giants hooked us. And lastly, I also Life Force by Tony Robbins is a fantastic book. You Can't Screw This Up by Adam Bornstein. There's a link in the description if you guys want to check out and read the reviews. That and all the other books that I mentioned in this video if you want to check those out too. If there are any other books that you guys want me to check out and review, please let me know in the comments below. Also let me know if you checked out this book and you liked it. But hey, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, because I don't get why people watch this far into my videos and they don't subscribe. But if you have subscribed and you want to turn it up just a notch and turn on that notification bell to get a notification whenever I drop any videos, that would mean the world to me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. You can find me everywhere and I will see you then.